What's up? Welcome to Cape Town. We're in Cape Town. We've been here for 4 weeks, having a lot of good different conditions. Kiting, winging, surfing, doing all that fun stuff, and we're doing a lot of kiting actually. And I'm here with the new Bandit S4. Bandit is a legend. Everybody knows about Bandit. I think 4 years ago, the first S came out. An amazing kite with a lot of a really light feeling to the bar. Drifts very well and super direct, both when you sheet in and when you sheet out. And then every year the kite's been progressed and pushed and fine-tuned to even get better and better. Last year the S3 was an amazing kite. We were so into winging, so we mainly rode it, but we didn't really talk that much about it. They really got that kite on that special feeling, and we thought how would they be able to do the S4 even better. And there are a lot of similarities between the kites, but a few small things that you can see that's the difference between the kites. So construction wise, what's the difference this year from last year and the years before? Staggered seams. What is staggered seams? If you look at this kite, you can see it quite clearly. You see these connection points are not straight. And what will that do? That will help the kite from not stretching in the air. If it's really gusty, it's a lot of power and the kite is getting torn and pulled. Instead of getting pushed and stretched, the seams goes together like that. And that's going to give you a much stiffer construction. And with that stiffer construction, your kite behaves much more even in stronger wind, in lighter wind. When you steer the kite into the window, it's going to be a much more even feeling in the kite. Still very light, still very responsive, but even more consistent when you push the kite around through the power zone. Also, when you have that the staggered seams, your kite's not going to stretch as much in the long term. So you're going to keep that same feeling in the kite much longer. If you look at another kite without the kind of staggered seams, you can see there's a bit more flapping going in the kite. Like you sheet in the kite, you send it, and it vibrates more. This kite, you send it through the window, it parks it, and boom, it sits there. It's no flapping, nothing is really moving. So that's what staggered seams helps out with. That's actually the big difference. It feels very direct, handles gusts really good. So what we learned now from the last year is that it's a lot of performance in the kite comes from how the trailing edge behaves. From the staggered seams, we move down and we see there's a new cloth that's called Technoforce. It's a double ripstop. It's a stiffer material that's gonna keep the kite stiff and make the trailing edge last much longer. Keep that nice and tight feeling when you move it around. You can feel when you touch the cloth that it feels totally different from the normal the rest of the materials, because all that tension in the trailing edge needs to have a little stiffer material to keep that in. The legendary Delta C shape is still on these kites, and what that do, it gives you a very nice riding position. You're not using too much energy and power. It's very effortless when you ride. The kite tacks up wind really nice. So I'm here with my good friend Jacob, and he's been testing the kites a lot as well. Jacob, do you have any feedback after all the testing we've been doing on the S4?
It's been really nice testing it in the sideshore and the cross-offshore conditions compared to our onshore conditions at home. You really can get a more sense of what the kite actually behaves in these kind of conditions. You can really feel the drifting ability a lot more than you do at home with the onshore conditions. So it's been really amazing to just test out the limits of these kites. And I'm really amazed about the drift stability. A lot of times when you're on the wave, it's kind of like you forget about that you actually have to work with the kite, because you can really just park it, and then when the wave is there, you can just ride the wave, and then, oh, I still have the kite and it's still in the position that it's supposed to be. So that's really cool about these kites. It's kind of like you can forget about the kite and more focus on the wave riding, and it kind of just helps you with that. So that's a pretty cool thing.
So when the waves we've been riding here, we try to find waves that are quite steep, and that because we enjoy to have ride a wave with a lot of pocket, and then the bottom turn is very important. That you push the bottom turn hard, you send the kite really hard, and like when you send that, you park it and you use that bottom turn to actually just keep the kite a little bit over your head and then just ride the wave. So it's very important to have that slack to actually be able to hit the wave in the right position and also forget about it. A lot of times you can go 1-2 turns and the kite is still just hanging there. You can down loop it or whatever, and it's still just gonna come straight back at you. If you ride onshore, a lot of kites can ride onshore to go back and forward, but as soon as you start to get a little angle on the wave, it's much more important that the kite can really drift. The thing I really noticed is with these kites also, you can control and steer the kite sheeted in, but you can also sheet out, and you have a lot of, like, the kite still answers. When if you threw a bottom turn on the way to the top turn and the bar is fully sheeted out, you can just do a little flick with your fingers and the kite's gonna answer straight away. So it's not, it can be no power in the kite, but it still goes into the way you want it to go. Bandit S is not only a wave riding kite, it's an amazing kite foil to kite foil with, and it's an amazing free ride kite. It actually jumps well, it's very forgiving, it relaunches very good. So it's easy to think, oh, it's only for waves, it's not going to suit my way of riding. I want to do a bit of jumps, I want to do some other things as well. The S4 or the S generally is an amazing free ride kite. And when you kite foil it with a hydrofoil, that ability to drift down the line and stay in the air with no slack in the line so you can still steer it, it's really, really good when you kite foil. It's an amazing kite to try if you're an addicted kite foiler. So the S4 is here. It's an amazing kite, but everybody knows is a lot of prices are going up. So the kite get more and more expensive. If it's a little bit too much for your budget to go for the S4, the S3 is a bloody good kite as well, but it's a very good price point on it. What do you think about the kite, guys?
I've been kiting the 7. It's light, responsive, super fast, and the wind range I found is unbelievable. When you've been on the 9, I can't actually feel, I'm never overpowered. You have to call me in to swap kites. They've knocked it out the park again.
Yes!